Happy birthday! You have cancer. Hey guys, so welcome back to the next video. So today's video is going to be my cancer story. So first off, I want to say if you have any issues with the talking of like blood and periods and a whole bunch of female problems, this video is probably not for you. Just go ahead and check out some of my other videos, but if you don't mind, then please stay tuned. So here's my cancer story. I was diagnosed with uterine cancer in the August of last year, but my story goes back years and years previous. So I'm going to start by just giving you a history of what happened, I guess. So I also want to say too, I'm not trying to be negative about doctors or anything in this video. A lot of doctors try their best, but sometimes their patients, the amount of patients they have, stuff can be overlooked. So I want to say something about that too. I'm sorry if I seem like I have a negative negative to say about some of the doctors in my story, but I think guys can understand. I hope you guys can understand. So my story goes back to November 2009, which is almost 10 years ago. My husband had just came home from Iraq, and me having PCOS, we're just had fertility treatments in the past. So he came back from Iraq. Let's get started trying to go through fertility treatments again. So up to then, while he was deployed, I was able to get my cycle almost normal, but then right before he came back, it started not being normal. I started bleeding, like spotting throughout the whole month. Went to the doctor and they found some polyps. And then the doctors told me that I had hyperplasia. I didn't know what that was. I didn't care what that was, and okay. We're in the process of moving too, and all the stress of moving and everything like that. I didn't know what hyperplasia was. I didn't care what hyperplasia was. I have polyps. Okay, that's what caused me to bleed more. Who cares? Yeah. So hyperplasia is actually precancerous cells. So I had precancer cells in my uterus in 2009. So if she would have said, hey, there is precancer, I've been like, red flag, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something about this. But I didn't know what hyperplasia was. She didn't explain to me what hyperplasia was. So I just went on my way. So after the fertility treatments, I went through my normal problem. When I went through fertility treatments, my periods stopped for about 10 months. So yeah, it happens. It has happened in the past. I did stop bleeding, spotting, because of the medication. Then we did start some more fertility treatments about a year later, and nothing really came out of it. I gained a lot of weight because of the treatments, but yeah. Anyway, so fast forward to November 2011. My period was like once or twice, 3 times a year. About that. Sucks. But anyway, so November 2011, I started bleeding again. So I'm like, oh yay, my period's back. I'm happy about that because, you're supposed to be having a period, kind of thing. But then it didn't stop. I bled every day. Normal period style, pretty heavy. So really, really heavy period for about 2 months. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of uncomfortable. This is annoying. Maybe it's just my body's way of healing myself, because I was on a high raw diet then. So maybe it's my body's way of just getting all the toxins out or healing myself. So I put up with it for a couple more months, and then it started getting pretty bad, and went to the doctor, and they're just like, oh, it's just your PCOS symptoms. Just take some iron, kind of thing. I'm like, okay, well, it's getting kind of annoying because it's like 3-4 months at this point. I was getting really tired. I was really anemic, as you can see, as you could tell. But So I continued to bleed every single day. Still back in my head, back at this point, back in my head, something's not right. There's something wrong here because this is not normal. I just started getting that feeling. So in April the next year, so April 2012, I'm still bleeding every single day. I'm starting to get really anemic. I catch colds every couple months. Every month I'm gonna get cold. I'm sick. I'm tired. I'm cold all the time. Immune system is kind of starting to get down a little bit at this point. I really started bleeding really bad, and I was scared. Actually, this is the only time I've ever been. I was scared for my life at this point. It may sound really dramatic, but I bled so much. I bled so much that I was laying on the couch just sleeping all day for about the whole weekend. And I remember the doctor, my last doctor appointment before this happened, they said, you're severely anemic. If you drop your blood drops anymore, you need a blood transfusion. So you need a blood transfusion. And they wouldn't help, I guess. So I needed a blood transfusion. And I was laying in bed on my couch, just sleeping the whole weekend. My husband had to help me get up and go to the bathroom. He had to help me get up to even walk 3-4 feet across the floor, across the room, or I'd start to black out. But when the doctor said about the blood transfusion, this is always playing in the back of my head. If it drops anymore, you need blood transfusion. You need blood transfusion. So I'm like, no. I have no problem with blood transfusions. But something was telling me no, don't do it. I don't know why, but I didn't. So the next day I went to the doctor. I'm like, give me something. I need to stop this, So they gave me some a really high dose of estrogen. Stopped my bleeding for about 2 months. But the side effect was all my hair fell out. Not all my hair, but my hair was falling out by the handful. It kind of made me a little bit depressed, but my bleeding stopped. By this point, I was taking the more iron and adding more greens to my diet at this time, as wrong as rice and any oatmeal and all the different high iron foods I can get. And then within 2 months of me my bleeding stopping, I was able to go to Thailand, and I was riding 20 miles a day on my bike. So go from a couple months before not even being able to walk across the room to riding 20 miles on my bike. Felt good. But eventually I did start bleeding again. And I want to say something too. The reason why I didn't go to so many doctors, I would have, if I was in the United States at the time, I would have been going to a lot more doctors, or I would have kept going to a doctor until they told me was wrong. When all this was going on, my husband was stationed in Europe at a very, very small base. And there wasn't that many options for doctors. I had 3 doctors and that's it. They did refer me off to a couple doctors on the economy, but they didn't help it either. So I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that too. So I continued to bleed, and I started feeling kind of just helpless, like, okay, what am I doing? And I started looking into alternative ways for me to heal myself, and because I was at this point, I was just like, this needs to stop. Especially me and my husband to have children, and I'm very sensitive to any kind of birth control or anything. Really sensitive to any kind of birth control or hormones or anything like that. So, continued to bleed and until July of 2017. So from April 2012 to July 2017, it was every day. Every day. Nobody could help. that's one thing I don't understand. You know, we go to go to doctors, having them help us, and we're just pushed out the door. I don't know how many times I've heard, "You're fine, just get over it," you know, kind of thing. It sucks. So anyway, July 2017, me and my husband decided, hey, you know, it's been quite a few years since we've done any type of fertility treatments. We're just okay, so let's just go and try for fertility treatments again. So the game started, all the medication. This point, I kind of slowed down my bleed. My bleeding kind of slowed down at this point, which is really good. So they start the initial you know, fertility treatments, medication. So me to have my period, I bled really, really bad, which I was, at this point, you just kind of put just your brave face on and just, you know what to expect. And then after that, they did an ultrasound and they found polyps. Surprise! Like I said in the very beginning, 2009 was when they found polyps. But there's a couple big polyps. So they're like, okay, well, we need to kind of take care of this before you go through the IVF or in vitro, because you don't want these polyps in your uterus because they're not supposed to be there, you know, kind of thing. So scheduled my surgery in August, middle of August. So I had my surgery to remove the polyps, and then remove the polyps. And then I was feeling really, really bad after the surgery. I got a cold. I was just not feeling very good. I got a chest cold all within like 2 weeks. I wasn't feeling good. And then also the side effects from the anesthesia and everything doesn't go very good for me. So I remember this day, the day I was actually diagnosed. It was the day before my 35th birthday. The day before my birthday. Happy birthday, you have cancer! So, me and my husband I was saying something too, that I was working night shift, so my sleep schedule was all messed up. So working night shift, me and my husband were just out grocery shopping, driving down the highway, and I got a call from the doctor saying it was cancer. Saying that some of the polyps, a lot of the polyps were cancerous, which completely threw me off. I just remember sitting in the car like, what? You know, that can't be that. No, that's not true. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh crap. So I got online and looked up what hyperplasia was. And when the doctor, when she first, just out of curiosity. And I was mad when I found out that what it was. I think this could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. So yeah. So I remember just me and my husband were just terrified. That's the best way to describe it. Within 2 days, I scheduled more surgery. But I made the decision right after my diagnosis that I would not go through chemo or radiation, because I don't want to put my body through that. It's not healthy. You're trying to kill the cells with toxins, pretty much. Anyway, I don't judge anybody who goes through chemo radiation. It's your journey. But for me personally, I chose not to go that route. So, like I said, within 2 days, I had another appointment at Hershey Medical Center, which is one of the best cancer departments in Pennsylvania. And had an appointment with them, and they scheduled me for another surgery. About a month later, so September, I had another surgery. So they did a D&C, where they scrape all the lining out again to see if if they got all the cancer cells or not, or if more was growing, or whatever like that. Then they also put in a UID, which was my treatment for my cancer. So the UID, pretty much what it does, it stops the growth of the lining of the uterus. So so scheduled for that surgery within like 3 days of getting the diagnosis. And then I had my surgery in September. And then after my surgery, I'd recovered, I guess. I was still like in shock. This didn't happen to me, kind of thing. I was struggling. And then also too, after my second surgery, I got sick again. I got sick again because my immune system was horrible. More colds, another flu, kind of thing. So it was about middle of November, I started feeling better. And then also, so just been hanging in there, I feel great. And then last month, April, finally got the call to say I'm cancer free. So, yep, I'm cancer free. I do have some a little bit more hyperplasia cells in there, but it's really not that bad, which is normal from what they said, I guess. But so within the next month, the Mirena will be coming out. Let's take it from there. I haven't bled actually since September. I haven't had any periods, which is kind of a good after bleeding for so long. But I'm starting to get I want to get my body used to my body back in the swing of things and heal my PCOS. So this will never happen again. So anyway, that's my story. I hope you guys found it helpful. And the reason for me sharing my story is if I can help somebody, that'll make it all worth it, because nobody should have to suffer. And believe me, I suffered. If I could help somebody out with my story, make me feel a lot better. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please post them below the video. And don't forget to share with your friends and everything like that. And thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And hit the bell notification to let you guys know when I upload more videos. And I'll see you guys later.